I could run it on medium settings is what it auto detected me at, and I was getting like 28 FPS, which normally on vanilla New Vegas I get like 20 FPS. So the game is incredibly well optimized, but I think just certain hardware configurations just don't work.
Well, I think that if you put it on ultra and then turn down the anti-aliasing and you turn down the shadows, if you install EN boost and shadow boost, it should run fantastic.
Well, Daniel, that's an option.
I have everything as low as I can get it, and I still ran at like 8 FPS.
Do you even have a GPU?
Now, have you tried?
I have not
what's your-
tried
what's-
the mods though.
What's your GPU?
Uh, I'll have to think about that. I don't know off the top of my
Okay.
head.
You likely have an Intel HD drive, probably. How much was the computer?
Custom built, like $300.
Okay. Yeah, that probably won't run Fallout 4. You probably need to at least $500 for a reasonably okay GPU to run it.
Alternatively, you
Now,
could buy
I
something
do
used.
recommend that you try. You should try to install shadow boost and EN boost. They really do a lot to smooth out where Bethesda fails at memory allocation.
Oh no,
I will try.
that's why Fallout 4 runs. There is no. But Skyrim was notorious for CPU issues, and now there is no CPU issues. So
They still do the shadows on the CPU for some reason.
yeah, that slows it down. But to be fair, there's something with the engine, and you can have a octa-core double memory type thing. It'll still slow you down in the middle of in that Commonwealth area with all the shadows to like 30 FPS.
Yeah, after I put shadow boost on, I have no problem holding the frame rate to run with VSync on.
All right, see you, Dog Neely. Yeah, it's okay for this. I've not tried the mods, but for it's what Dog said. So very well optimized. Alright. Does anyone else have any more questions? Vidgrod4567 asks, "What do you guys think about voice actor and the speak wheel thing?" I knew about it when the trailer first hit. I had a suspicion that it was going to be the case, and then when E3 came, obviously I knew about it. But as soon as I saw it, I immediately thought the one solution to deal with it for modders is to have a new protagonist. And I didn't really worry about it.
Well,
But, go on, sorry.
Wouldn't there be a way to like turn off the voice protagonist so it just like skips that part of the speech? I don't know because I haven't modded yet, but is that possible?
Yeah, there's already a mod for it, yeah. I quite like the voice acting for the main character though. But if I wanted to make new lines and have more than 4 options to make it look like New Vegas or something like that, I would just make a new protagonist. That's if I have a new land mod or something.
Yeah, I really like the voice protagonist. They did a great job with that, both male and female. Though, it is going to be a bit hard to work around that. Because in all likelihood, they can't participate in mods without ZeniMax's permission, because it would be in violation of their, non-competition agreement.
I didn't mind the voice acting. I just kind of wish that there was more dialogue options, even if not all of them were voiced.
Yeah, it was a kind of I can understand why they did it. It's a kind of console. The whole game design is kind of like against
Console
how I would
friendly.
think. Pardon?
Console friendly.
It's not just console friendly. when you're actually choosing things, and if you don't choose one of your 4 options in time, when the person you talk to says something obnoxious to speed you along. It's like the total opposite of New Vegas, where you consider like what you're going to make, and for this it's like, hurry up and make a choice, and we even reduce the choice to like words, and I find that quite. I mean, that's one thing I don't like about it. If you know what I'm saying.
I've noticed that if I get up to cook or something when I'm playing at night, and then I'll hear somebody that I was in the middle of a dialogue with badgering me to hurry up what I'm doing and deal with them.
Hey, Dick Tits, answer the question. What? I can't stand it, honestly.
What's up, sir?
I can't stand that interruption thing.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Where not only do you have these 4 options that are meant to be clicked on, a kind of limit, in one word, they interrupt you if you take more than 5 seconds to respond.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. I mean, for the companions I'm writing, I don't even bother with that. And that's the one thing I'm changing.
Yeah, I mean, I really love Brian's voice. He did a great job. I love Courtney's voice. She did a great job. But it really does limit the community as far as new quest lines or even introducing a new companion, because you can't really talk to him without shutting off the voice.
I think there's just going to be a lot of unvoiced dialogue.
Well, for me, the protagonist, I'm actually cutting. I'll be cutting the lines. I mean, there's enough like simple lines like, "Oh, what happened there? How are you? What's going on? Hello." There's enough of that in the protagonist's 13,000 lines to make something simple. But I mean, other games, not just mods, have dealt with a voice protagonist. I mean, Mass Effect 2 had I don't know if you played it, but they had a DLC Zaid.
No.
Obviously, what was that?
When I was picking through the game files, I noticed that they had some data in the master. Like almost as if they had some possible text-to-speech support.
I believe somebody was working on that already. That might have been for Skyrim, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure I saw it in the Fallout 4 master files. I'll have to pick through and find it.
Alright. Also,
That would be.
welcome, Hopper.
Hi everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Alright, Crash Crisis and Fry Pie to the Moon say hello. Hello, guys.
Hello, hello.
I do have some rather
Ah.
interesting thoughts. I haven't looked into it yet, but I think the game may no longer be entirely dependent on FaceGen. I was talking to, or rather helping someone out a while ago on the Nexus with porting Strong's face to their playable Super Mutant or something. And despite their initial obstacle of Strong's face being like the size of the player character's torso, it still worked. So if that's the case, we can really, really expand on the whole visual customization, which I'm very excited for.
That sounds good, man. Does anyone else have any more questions?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's fun. Wait a bit for the thing. No, that sounds. I noticed does that make New Vegas comparable to what we did in New Vegas by creating new characters effectively? Like, Chauncey and other characters that will never see the light of day. And Ulysses and things like that. Is that comparable in Fallout 4, or do you feel like that's less likely? 'Cause you told me once that the Lover's Lab had cracked the Skyrim face chain or something.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem with face gen is that you've got about 80 different morphs that make up all of the facial animations in the game. They're what's called vertex animations. And those animations are entirely dependent on the original structure of the model. So if you change that structure, in other words, if you add more geometry or remove geometry, it will mess up the game's ability to read the location of the vertices, and it'll either crash your game because it's trying to transform one model to another, or it will entirely mess up because it doesn't know where this vertex is, or it's trying to move the wrong one. So the problem with that is that I would have to create our base character head. We got Chauncey's head, and then I would have to create 80 different versions of that head in different expressions, being extremely careful not to change the vertex order, and then pack that all up. And if I did one step wrong, the entire thing would break. If you remember when Dragbody did the Athena character head, he got that working correctly. So that is possible to yank the animations, the vertex animations, from the original head and apply it on other heads. But that is a shit ton of hex editing. But the people over on Lover's Lab created a new head model. It wasn't very complex or anything. They pretty much just smoothed out the geometry. But even doing that, you're effectively doubling the polygonal resolution of the model and completely changing the vertex order, which should render FaceGen's ability to comprehend its transformations entirely useless. So they figured it out somehow. And I don't think that's valid anymore. I think we can pretty much do whatever we want.
Cool. Sounds good, man. I can't wait to see what happens.
Definitely.
Right. And Bunny13 asked, though, can't you use morph targets instead of different models?
Bunny13, that is exactly what's going on. Except instead of, packing up all the morph targets into a single thing, you have to pack up the targets themselves, the models, into a single file, instead of having, a single model that can transform. Because the game translates the base head based off of the vertex transformations stored in this other file. It's pretty horrible.
Pretty interesting. Okay, so Crash Crisis asks, what do you want in a future Fallout game more gritty? I don't actually know. What do you want, Peyton?
I don't know. I'm a big fan of grit. However, grit is kind of in contrast to Fallout 1 and 2. With the rebuilding of society that we see, throughout New Reno, the entire NCR, really. Even down in the Boneyard, we see society springing up better.
See, I like DLCs that go to gritty areas which have been destroyed beyond belief. That's why I like Lonesome Road and Old World Blues, I guess, and what's the other one? Dead Money, even Honest Hearts to some extent.